Welcome to another episode of the Consular Series 2026. I'm your host, Lawrence Christoffelsz, and today I've got the absolute pleasure to interview Marie-Claire Hughes from the Irish Consulate here. Marie-Claire, wonderful to meet you. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Lawrence. It's lovely to meet you as well.
Great, fantastic. So, can kick off yourself, Marie-Claire. What's your background with your career path, and how have you come here to Melbourne? Where have you been posted, and sort of your journey so far?
Sure. So I'm actually the first Irish Consul General for Victoria and Tasmania. We're just opening the consulate in 2026, so that's a very exciting opportunity for us. Immediately before this, for a short time, I was the Deputy Head of Mission at our embassy in Canberra, so I have been in Australia for almost a year now, but I've only been in Melbourne for a couple of months. And then my previous postings have been in London and also in Malawi in Southern Africa. So I've been around a few continents now, but Australia is a lovely place to spend a few years.
Well, wonderful and welcome. So I'm sure there's so much great, I suppose, love of the Irish here in Australia as well. So I'm sure you've been warmly welcomed already. I think you already had a kick-off event. I couldn't get there, but tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so our national day is St. Patrick's Day, which is the 17th of March. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of it. And we have a really big Irish community here in Melbourne in particular, but across Australia. So we've had a series of events and lots of community events, community festivals, including here in the city, but right across Australia. And we had a couple of events that we organised, one here in Melbourne and then also in Hobart, because we also cover Tasmania from Melbourne.
Great. Well, can I ask you, Marie-Claire, about the role of what you're doing here as the Consul General in relation to, obviously, there's the cultural side, the all the visas, passports, and some of what's a day in the life of the Irish Consul General?
Sure. Well, as I mentioned, we've got a huge community here. So a lot of what we do is working with our community organisations, lots of different groups right across Victoria and Tasmania, with everything from kind of cultural promotion to providing welfare services, particularly for older Irish Australians, connecting people with their heritage, with history. So we do a lot of that community work. We're also working very hard on setting up the consulate, hiring the staff, getting all of our premises sorted and everything. So that's taking up a lot of my time at the moment, but hopefully not for too much longer.
Great. Now, many companies here in Australia, especially importers and exporters, they're used to being, when you think of trade and investment, they're typically looking at Asia, US, with Europe as well. But what are some of the key sectors for the Irish opportunities between Australia and Ireland?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're speaking pretty soon after the signing of the EU-Australia free trade agreement. So that's obviously one of the most significant developments in trade partnerships between Australia and the European Union for a very long time. And Ireland, obviously, as a member of the European Union, we stand to benefit from that as well as Australia. So trade between Ireland and Australia is already over $7 billion. So, it's a significant trading partner for us. And I know that both countries are really looking to diversify, find new markets, new opportunities. I mean, in particular, some of the areas that will benefit from the recent free trade agreement on both sides are areas like agri-food, and then associated industries like agricultural machinery, pharmaceutical products, and also services, which Ireland and Australia are both very strong in, particularly financial services, but also professional services. And the free trade agreement should make that a lot easier. So Ireland really, I suppose for Australia, Ireland can be, I suppose, kind of a gateway to the European Union. We're English speaking. We have a very similar legal system, regulatory system. So we like to think that we're sort of the easy way into the European market. So I think a lot of Australian companies are interested in exploring that, in finding, a first foothold in the EU before they kind of expand into that massive market of over 400 million people.
Yeah, it could be a really strong, as you say, base for that whole European expansion. And there's also a shared love of sport as well, I think, between the two countries that everyone seems to enjoy. And there's some great sport diplomacy events and things like that take place, which I'm sure you'll be part of going forward as well in the future with Australia.
Yeah, absolutely. We've actually just launched our international sports diplomacy strategy,
Great.
so that's very timely for us. And yeah, we're really looking forward to seeing all of the Australian sports here.
Wonderful. So, Marie-Claire, you've been in Melbourne now for a little while. What are some of the things that you've loved so far about specifically Victoria, Tasmania, because that's your remit, but Australia in general? What are the things that you've really come to know and love?
Yeah, I mean, I think Australia occupies a very special place in Irish people's hearts. We all know people who live here. I have family here. My husband's actually from here, so I have a real strong kind of family connection to Melbourne in particular. So yeah, I think for a lot of Irish people, Australia is somewhere that they feel they know a little bit. And of course, with home and away and neighbours, there's a very strong cultural connection. So I think it's somewhere that, when Irish people arrive here, we sort of feel at home. We feel like we're among friends.
Yeah.
And I hope the Australians feel that way whenever they come to Ireland as well.
Well, I'm sure they do. It's on my bucket list. I haven't been there yet, so hopefully I'll get to go there sometime soon. But what are the things that you've got planned for this year in 2026?
Yeah, so 2026 is actually the 80th year of diplomatic relations between Australia and Ireland. Obviously, our friendship goes back much further than that, but our official diplomatic relations are 80 years old this year. So we're marking that in a number of different ways throughout the year, also with our embassy in Canberra and our colleagues in the consulate in Sydney. And then as opening Melbourne is a really big part of that. So a lot of what we'll be doing is working on getting more established and getting out and meeting as many people as we can.
Fantastic. Yeah, look, I think it's fantastic to have the consulate here open now in Melbourne, covering both states. Congratulations on the work you've already kicked off, and I'm sure it's going to be bigger and better, month on month. So I'll look forward to staying in touch and seeing how we can promote those activities as well.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Marie-Claire. Appreciate it.